right, Elizabeth Best. I'm
Yes.
going to impanel a love romance grand jury of
Guilty.
one
I don't know.
one person. My what I want to bring to you is proposals I've seen around the world on the internet as I bounce around in my free time, just as I'm moving. And I want
So that's
your
what you do. You go and watch proposals in your spare time.
Yes, that's right. No, these aren't. I don't seek these out. These are just fall on
They
my
just
lap
come to
naturally
you.
as we go. Now, case the first for this here episode. It's a filmed footage from a concert, right?
Okay.
Crowd footage.
Oh,
okay.
God.
And it's a Taylor Swift concert.
Oh.
And she's performing her song Love Song.
Okay.
Now, readers at home, you may remember the bridge in that song amps up about he melts to the ground, pulls out a ring, and says, "Marry me, Juliet." Now, your man in this footage is doing just that very thing with the ring as Taylor Swift is
Are
swinging.
we on stage or off stage?
No, he's off stage in
Okay.
the crowd with his lady.
If I was a really big Taylor Swift fan, that would mean a lot to me.
She turns around at like the perfect crescendo and says,
Planned.
"Marry me."
Planned.
Yeah.
She knew that was happening.
Oh.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, very
She
interesting.
turns at the perfect moment. Oh my God, what a surprise.
Ah, very
Yeah,
good.
no. I mean, yes, if you're a Taylor Swift fan, yes. I also, I have an issue with super public proposals.
Yeah,
so
there's-
if they were on stage, it would have been a hard and fast no for me.
No. They're in the crowd, but in the footage, you see women in the background realize, and they're all freaking out.
Would you not
at
be
it.
worried that you drop the ring in the middle of a crowd?
It's a big kerfuffle.
So it's a pass. I can think of at least one of my friends who would go nuts ballistic over that. But yeah.
I liked it because this was the first time me seeing this exact scenario play out with this exact song.
Okay.
I'm sure these proposals are a dime a dozen at these Taylor Swift shows.
If you've had a Taylor Swift proposal, please write in.
So I think it's special in quote because I've only seen it once.
Yeah.
But I'm sure it's happened time and time again to that particular song at that particular moment.
Yes, of course.
Very good. That's just one proposal I wanted to bring to the table. So you're suspicious on the...
I think if she turned around at the exact time that was the lyrics, she was either in on it and going, "Oh my God," for the footage, or she was about to rib him for not proposing.
There we go. So a cynic here on this...
marry me. That's what she says. Marry him. Yep.
A cynic here on the Ghosts of Boyfriends Past jury.
Would you have it any other way,
I'll
though,
go for a
Tom?
rummage and try and find this footage, and then we can put it on our Ghosts of Boyfriends Past group therapy group, and maybe we can get
Other
everyone else
opinions
to have a
chime
look.
in.
Is it
Yes.
real or is it staged? Hello one, hello all, and welcome to the show. Elizabeth Best across from me. I'm Tom Harris.
Hello. We have a
We've all
guest
made it.
today.
Yes, we
It is
do.
a main episode, which means we have invited someone into our studio to tell us some tales of, well, I think in this instance it's love gone by with a little bit of lost in translation kind of
Lost in translation.
relevance.
I like it.
So I'd like to introduce Laura Fois. Hello.
Hello, everyone. How are you going?
Very good. Welcome down.
Thanks for having me.
Now, if you can't tell by Laura's accent, she's Italian.
Very good.
And she's here to tell us a little bit about sort of what you're here to discuss today, and then a little bit about yourself.
So, as Liz was saying, I'm Italian. I've been in Australia from 2006, and I came to Australia with, scholastic and knowledge of English. I spent some time in UK, but my journey through English in Australia at the very beginning was quite traumatic for a lot of reasons.
English is hard. If it wasn't my first language, I don't know what I'd do with that.
Yep, there's so many rules, grammatical rules that
And the
lead
rule
to
breakages.
And a million of exceptions.
Yeah.
That's the thing. And, the accent is quite different. Australian cut every single word. So,
very-
it was a bit of a massive headache.
Australians are very lazy.
Yes.
We don't close our mouth. How you going, mate? Yeah, not bad. Close your mouth
I
when you
reckon
talk.
I could say an entire sentence without my lips
Yep,
touching.
exactly.
In fact, I just did it right then.
So some
Yeah, I'm learning about that.
So Laura's brought some tales of Lost in Translation.
So before we get into her tales, Laura, do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself and anything that you want to plug that's going on right now?
Absolutely. So I have a passion for music. I'm a singer and an actor, and
And a very good one at that. I've seen her. She is magnificent.
Haven't I got marvelous friends? So, and I'm actually presenting a cabaret at the Fringe Festival, which is going to be on Friday the 4th at Pip Theatre.
So that's Fringe Brisbane.
Yes.
Just if you're in any other city and there's a Fringe Festival on, do not turn up.
Don't come to see me. So
And what's it called?
It's called Power, Language and Love, and this is a full female show. Everyone involved in that is a lady, and we're talking about stories about women, what we struggle with, whether it's, the power or what we're powerful for, or the search of love for ourselves or for someone else, or communications issues. So my act is, of course, language, and we're talking about the desperate story of an Italian in Australia. It's funny. It's actually very funny. So we're talking about self-acceptance as well. So we do have a massive good message going through that. So come along.
Do it Friday the 4th of November.
Yes.
Now, even if you don't get along to Laura's show, get out and support her. Go see some poetry. Go and see a live event. Come on, support
Book
everybody,
tickets.
please. Come
Oh,
on.
yes. There's some marvelous show out
Absolutely.
there, and incredible ideas and new stuff. I think that's the wave of COVID. All the creativity coming out. Now it's time to support those artists.
Absolutely.
Pent up
And look,
feelings.
if you're normally one of the turn up at the door and buy tickets people, maybe just think about purchasing a ticket online, because then, your friendly local producer can stop freaking out that no one's going to come to their show. I know Brisbane's a late booking city,
Yeah.
but if you've been thinking about booking any ticket to anything, open your laptop, open your phone, get on the browser, go there, book the ticket now. This is Auntie Liz telling you to do the booking of the ticket thing in advance if you can.
And we won't tell you again. Now, we have a guest, and that's her show, that's her plugs. We do have a premise. I mean,
That's my show.
you're all old hat by now. Ghosts of Boyfriends Past. We have a guest. They tell us a tale or two about love, dating, romance, marriage, etc., breakups gone by. So
We
the
have
things
rules.
we do have rules.
I don't like the rules.
I kind
I
of
feel
don't
like
want to
everyone
do it.
knows
I
the
kind of don't want to
rules.
talk about the rules today. There might be a new listener for the very first time today, and I'm
know.
going to say, no, you go back and listen to other
No,
episodes.
I'm not going to say that. I'm going to be responsible because the lawyer's
fine.
sitting in the corner telling me that I have to do the responsible
It's
thing.
lazy. It's hot.
I'm going to go through them really, really quickly.
Number one.
Number one, use false names, or if you can't remember their names, even better.
I can't remember a single name,
Brilliant.
so I'm safe.
Number two, if anybody at home realizes who Laura's talking about, doubtful because she doesn't even remember who
Yes,
she's talking
yes.
about, don't ruin it. This
Yes.
is a don't be a dick rule. And number three, what's our third rule?
No threats on air. On microphone, no threats.
Okay.
All right, you can leave
Not
this.
even in Italian.
Well, we may have
lawyer
Italian
says
listeners.
no.
Okay.
But off mic, we'll have a right old bitch fest. Absolutely.
Okay. But generally, my threats are about, feeding people, things like that. Like, you better come for dinner or things like that. So
Yeah, it's
I
good.
think
It's
it's
love.
probably safe.
Yeah, you better let me take care of you, God damn it.
Something like that. Yeah.
Okay, where are we starting? Put us.
So,
please.
coming to Australia, I was on my own. And Australia, if you're coming from Europe, is an incredibly exotic kind of country. I landed in WA. I was living 2 hours south of Perth, and I was totally on my own. So my time was all about exploring things. And if you're in sort of remote places and you got an accent, people remember you. People are interested. People want to know, and there's you end up sometimes, dating people. It took me a while, to be honest, for a lot of reasons. But the first thing I wanted to say that is culturally very different between Australia and Italy is how shocking is sometimes how quickly people say "I love you."
Oh,
Right.
Like in Italy, we do have 2 ways of saying that. Like we say "ti voglio bene," which literally means "I want you good," like I care for you,
Yes.
right.
and "ti amo," which is literally
very
"I
like-
love you,"
yeah.
which is you're the first thing I think in the morning and
Yes.
the last before going to bed. In spite of every single defect you have, absolutely you're still that person. So if you're in Italian, it would take you a long time to tell something like that because it's something big. It's something like, I love you, I want to be with you, but not now, tomorrow, you know. And that's what it means.
It's intense. Those 2 words mean a lot of stuff.
Absolutely. So the first thing you notice is, you know, you're getting out with someone for a month and they're like, oh, I love you. Oh, you know, I love you. Like, so it's either you crazy, I'm going to run away, or I'm really desperate, I want to believe that, so it's a love bomb.
Yes. Love bombing.
Literally.
Absolutely.
And that's, you know, but sometimes things get very messy.
I think, and I have thought this for a long time, that that we need a more casual way of saying I love you, right? So, I mean, for me, I frequently distinguish between love you and I love you.
Yes.
That's been my distinguishing. Like, if I'm like, okay, I say to my friends all the time, all right, love you, bye. But I don't say I love you unless it's like a full big romantic love. Like, I feel like there's but it's not a big enough inflection for anybody else who comes into Australia and goes, well, it means the same thing.
Yeah,
idiots.
that's right. We, the way you say love you, you sing it.
Yeah.
Like, love you,
love
like,
you.
love ya, you know, it's more
Sometimes
casual.
it's just love
but
you.
I love
And then,
you is more stoic. But so, yes, they're little.
That would be
subtleties.
confusing because, you guys have, the Italians have done the right thing. They've got 2 different expressions, so you know which one they mean.
I think it's because Italian people, they're passionate about everything. They put love and passion into food and family.
Oh, so they needed the clarification.
They need clarification. Over here, we don't have these passions. Have you seen Australian food? It's all brown. All of it is brown. Wheat Bix, barbecue, Vegemite. It's just brown. The country's brown. We got no passion for things. So we just say, I love you. We got nothing else.
Yeah, mate. Brilliant.
That might be it.
So
I thought maybe the difference could have been like between I love you and I'm in love with you.
Yeah. That's one as well. Yeah. Like I still, wouldn't say I love you to someone who's not, I don't know. But yeah, I'm in love with you is very different in Australia. That is a very good comparison.
Yeah. Okay. So, but that was to me the big thing that was like, oh my God, okay. This is
what do you do when someone says it to you?
I'm disappearing completely, or you get into the situation and then you're like,
Which did you do?
I
both.
Did both.
Try
once I disappeared, I'm like, this is way to be, and this was probably a good thing because it was a guy. It looked like it was my age, but it turned out later that it was like 10 years younger. And I was like, okay, this is...
Get it, Laura?
The moment I got... Oh, yeah, it was fun. Of course. Yeah. But yeah, you started with the I love you. I was like, oh my God, this is funny. And then we were getting out, and I got sick, and I sent him a message like my stomach is very upset. I'm not sure what's going on. And he went ballistic on messages, very angry about that. I was like, okay, this is going because clearly you are absolutely crazy.
One of those guys that says I'm a nice guy, and is like, you're not fucking hot anyway. As soon as you say one thing,
no, it wasn't like that. It wasn't like that. Like, he sent me like a message like 3 months later saying, were you ever interested in me? So I just take it back to the very young age.
Yeah.
And
he would have sat there and stewed on that for a couple of months as well.
But probably. But I didn't know because it really looked like, we were at the same age, and it's like,
poor little sweet baby angels who still believe in that kind of love at that young age. Oh, dear. So, you probably dodged a little bit of a bullet there if he's going to blow up over text.
Yeah. Oh, gosh, yeah. Probably, I think what was happening is that we were going to see a band playing at a local pub in Bunbury at the Prince of Wales. And they were probably all his friends. So he told all his friends, oh, my God, this girl, this Italian girl is coming around. So it was probably like, they're never going to believe me that you exist.
Yes.
Yeah, right. Witnesses.
Showed him up in front of his mates, Laura.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even have Facebook by then. I was like, what the heck is that? 2006? Another time, I really did want to believe that. Yeah. And I jumped into that, and and I ended up a little bit.
Dove head first in.
And when you actually reciprocate, I got a very... interesting reply. I was like, that's gonna be a mess. I was like, okay.
Oh, so he's like, I love you. And then when you were saying it back, he's like,
Yeah.
whoa, 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 whoa.
Yep.
Oh, no, thank you.
Yeah,
no,
it's
no.
not like that.
You don't get to
Yeah.
control this interaction. I don't
No.
like that.
No, yeah. But that's the thing. And that's why I'm saying, I mean, there were other issues there,
Yeah,
of course.
of course.
I mean, there weren't things, but I was like, oh, I really liked about, believing in that.
Look,
Yeah.
sometimes you do jump headfirst in and it's not quite right. But honestly, there's been a few friends of mine recently who have dove headfirst into something that seems really, really too good to be true. And it actually seems like it actually is that good. And I'm wildly jealous, but super happy for them.
Great.
Yeah.
But like, this is why we keep saying, okay, I'll believe it this time, because we all want to be the exception
Yes,
to the rule.
yes,
And
that's right.
look, it does 9 times out of 10, they're going to be love bombing you. But if it's that one, Laura, if it's that one,
You never know. Yeah, it was worth anyway. So something that has been ruining my dating life at the very beginning of me in Australia was the approach with alcohol that Australia has.
The approach with what?
With
Sorry?
alcohol, with wine, like people
We
get,
drink
alcohol.
we
We
drink a
drink.
lot.
We're a drinking
And I
culture.
mean, don't get me wrong, Italians, we drink, but it's,
With food?
with food, it's generally, and I don't know what it is like now. I mean, it's 2022. I've been here since 2006, and I haven't been clubbing in Italy for a long time.
Yeah.
But you would have your drink, etc., but you wouldn't get drunk.
Yeah.
In the moment you're dizzy, you stop, you resettle yourself, because it's not seen as a positive thing. So you wouldn't meet people who get out, oh, let's go to this party, etc., then they're drunk, like, I'm not dating you at all.
Yeah.
I'm not getting out
Yes,
with you
it's
at
not
all.
it's not a great look, and in Australia and in England as well, we seem to we drink until we're drunk. There's no going to the pub for 1 or 2 drinks and then home. We go to the pub and we have eight pints and then the sambucas, and then we fall over.
I'm not a big
thing, isn't it?
drinker. I never have been. But the reason why I drink to get drunk is because if I don't, I'll fall asleep. If I only have 1 or 2 drinks, it's nighttime for me. Like, I need to go for drinks or not at all.
Okay. No, I'm terrible with alcohol. Like, I've always been, drinking a little bit, but if I drink without food, I get hangover before getting
Yes.
or I get completely gone with a glass of Prosecco.
Laura's tiny as well, so if she drinks without having food, I can see how that would go straight. You get very happy very fast and then very hungover.
Very loud, very incomprehensible. My accent would go a million.
So you notice a disparity in drinking culture as you're trying to date, as you're trying to meet people.
And it's not seen, and it wasn't seen good. Now, I have a funny one with that, because once I met this guy, like one of those guys that doesn't drink, I was like, oh, nice guy. And I got him to panic, because in Italy, when we say, and that was the very beginning, so I used to translate literally stuff, all the time. So when someone is drinking a lot, they say they'll lift their elbow, drinking, like lift their elbow. And I literally said to this guy, a lot of people lift their elbow. And he thought I was getting attacked by people. And
elbowing them.
You Australians, you love to lift your elbow. Poor Toke, she's
And he
getting
was like,
involved.
what? Who was that? Have you gone to the police? I was like, no, really. Yeah, it didn't go anywhere. So probably was like, this girl is nuts.
I've never heard that expression, lift your elbow, before. But
No, that is typical
Italian,
Italian.
I would assume that you were elbowing someone. I honestly would have. That's so funny.
So I'm gonna just say a couple of things that have been I think very, very funny, and I'm gonna start with the one that I would say got me more in trouble. Meaning, we had this guy at work. We were, flirting with him, and he was saying something like, "Oh, we have a, bring your family to work kind of thing." Mm-hmm. And I was like, really? Why would you bring your family to work? I was like, oh, it's all about, showing what you do. Or wouldn't you want to show your job to your friends? And it might have been my accent, but I replied, well, it depends on the job you're doing. And what he responded was like, what job are you talking about? Respect.
Oh, what job did they think you had?
What did you think they were thinking about?
Don't bring your family to that work,
He
friend.
went to from a situation that was like, just lightly flirting in the corridor every now and then to be in a biz list. It was like, oh, okay, I don't think I'm going to get a coffee with you.
Yeah.
Another thing that got me in a massive, massive fight once was, classical discussion, and this guy was like, oh, you would never, you wouldn't have seen the many things without me. And what I said was, don't flatten yourself.
Don't flatten yourself.
And he started laughing desperately, to which I went absolutely ballistic.
Don't flatten yourself,
Don't flatten
people.
yourself. And I couldn't understand why he was laughing. I had no idea.
It would take you a bit.
It would take you a bit.
That's really cute, though. I think
Very
that's
sweet.
adorable, Laura. I'm sorry. Don't ever flatten yourself, everybody.
Don't flatten yourself. Another thing, dating this guy, gorgeous guy, and it was like, messaging, and he said, oh, I've been going to the gym, like, oh my God, my legs and body's hurting so much. And I thought, oh, I can come around and give him a massage. But what I sent a message was like, I can get you a massage. And he was like, oh no, that would be painful. And I was like, oh. But I really wanted to give,
meant,
can I touch you? And once we understand, because I was like a bit pissed off by the reply, and he said like, well, no, you don't, you say, I'll give you a massage rather than I'll get you a massage, because I'll get you one is like I'll get you a glass of water, and I wasn't willing to get someone else's hand on me.
Yeah.
But that.
You're like,
but I was like messaging like, oh, what the hell?
I know. You're like, I've got it. I've got the sexiest thing to say. And he's like, painful.
Absolutely not. The other thing, and that is funny sometimes, but after I was like, oh my God. And I do appreciate people correcting me when I say something wrong, because sometimes I know I keep on saying,
well, if you say it wrong once, you don't want to go into like 5 other social situations and make the same mistake.
Absolutely. Totally. Yeah. Like I've been saying tripping point rather than tipping point for years until,
But it makes sense still.
absolutely.
In context, it still makes sense. So that's a tricky one.
Yeah, that's a tricky one. Until, thankfully, the same guy actually said, hey, is actually tipping point. I was like, oh, you're the first one that actually told me. It's like, how long have you been saying that? I was like, I'm not sure. How long have I been here?
A long time.
But sometimes, though, it gets a little bit exasperating, the continuous correction. And I have this thing that spelling wonder, with an A or with an O, sometimes I get confused when I'm texting.
Yes.
I wonder what will happen next, or go for a wander with an A. Yep,
exactly. So,
it's so funny because the way you just said that as well, wonder with the O sounded like it was.
That's my max.
Yeah, and then you're like, go for a wander. I'm like,
let's go
it
for a
sounded
wander.
like it was we pronounce things stupid in Australia.
I'm not helping. Sorry.
But and I know the difference, but with this
Spelling.
when you're spelling,
Yep.
sometimes I mix them up, and if I go automatically just get to the first vowel that is the closest. I don't know, and these guys would keep correcting that. And once I was saying something important, and it corrected, was like, oh, can you just leave me say one without getting off the context and getting into the grammar, please?
I think like if you're speaking and someone gets something wrong, but I would never correct spelling. I think and I'm an editor, and that's literally my job.
It's probably an unfortunate thing where
Especially if you're saying something important. Sorry.
Yes, where one person in a vacuum thinks I'm helping this person with their English, but it's everyone is doing this, so you're getting it from him and her and him and her and him and her, and you're going, everyone needs to stop. So, and
I mean, generally it's something I do appreciate a lot, but if I'm saying something important, don't
context. Listen to my context,
or read
please.
what I'm saying and don't correct that one.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, come on, leave one. Never. I was like, yeah, okay, I'm not telling you anymore,
because then you end up defending yourself rather than talking thinking about what the important thing was.
Yes, and that's the thing. And there's a lot of things. I mean, you never ever feel as clever in another language as you feel in your own.
Oh,
That's the thing. And just on top of that, you always feel this attitude from the others that if you're mispronouncing a word, is because you didn't study or you don't know or something like that, rather than I read a book and I learned that word there. I have no idea how it's pronounced. You know what I mean? So there's always this underlying feeling like, oh, it's not enough.
But the thing, and I think it depends on where you go as well, because everyone told me when I went to Europe, they're like, the people in France will be so rude about your French pronunciation. But everywhere that I went was so lovely to me because I tried and because I said bonjour. That's like very big manners thing. You can't just walk into a store and say, where's the coffee? You have to say bonjour.
And you're Australian. Yeah. Australia for France is one of the top places in the world. If they thought you were British, probably they wouldn't have been as accommodating.
I did have a few people think that I was British in Rome and they were quite rude to me.
Oh.
But
Bad romance.
But I think it's one of those things where, and I've never thought about it before, like what my job, I'm a writer, and if I had to be a writer in another language, I could not be as clever or as wordy or as like puns in another language don't work. Like if I want to make a pun on a word and that word's not translatably punny, I'd just lose my superpower in another language.
Even sarcasm doesn't travel. I speak German, and I was living in Germany.
Everything Germans say sounds angry, not sarcastic.
I said that I was with my family, and there was a tiny little dog, and I said, look at that rat. And they said, no, this is a dog. Come on. I know.
I'm trying to laugh at me.
Yeah, humor is the last thing you pick.
Yeah.
Every now and then, I'm still the worst friend ever from that point of view, because I'm like, everyone is laughing. I'm like, I don't get it. And, the person that is doing the joke, they have to explain it, which is hilarious for everyone else, but not for them.
I know.
So,
you have no idea how funny I am in Italian.
Yeah. Absolutely. I'm hilarious.
You just need to take your friends over to Italy and then you explain the jokes to them in English. Right. Then they'd get it.
Yeah, they would be too busy being fed by my mom.
Can I come?
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. So another thing, like if anyone out there is dating an Italian, be sure that if they're feeding you or taking you for coffee all the time, doesn't really mean they want to get out with you or they want to have you all over them all the time.
Right.
The stereotype of Italians that feed people is totally true. We love doing that. We love cooking. That's how we take care of people a lot.
But that does not mean romantic love. No. That's just I care about you as a person. I care about you have some deliciousness.
Yeah. Doesn't mean that I wouldn't give food to someone I actually love and not want to date, but those things are not sequential. Yeah. So be sure that if an Italian comes around, it's like, oh, let's go for coffee, is not really, a straight indication of, what a date you. Mostly is like, I need caffeine. I just had 3-4 coffee today and I need another one.
Yes, coffee isn't really romantic. It's kind of a necessity. Put it in my bloodstream and swiftly. Yes, okay. So yes, if an Italian girl takes you out for lunch, it's food, it's love that way, not anything else. Wow, there you go. Any other examples?
I have actually a story. It's not about too much about lost in translation, but I have this story of my first. Well, it wasn't supposed to be a date, but, first sort of date in Australia.
It's never a good start when it wasn't supposed to be a date.
Yes, I'm curious.
Yeah. I'd love to hear this.
And I generally, as I was saying, I'm bad because I remember little bits, but I don't remember too much. For this one, it was such a disaster that I sent a message the day after, that was the 9th of December 2006, to my friends in Italy. And Can I use the B word?
You can use any swear word you like on this podcast.
And those bitches are still laughing all the time we see. So I love them. I absolutely love them.
Now she has the email that she sent back in 2006 right in front of her. So she's got all the details ready, Tom.
Very good.
So December 2006, getting back to the stereotype of Italian feeding people, I asked a few friends at work to come around and have for a barbecue. So organize a barbecue, wine, food, etc. And those friends come around with someone I didn't know. You know, one of their friends, nice guy. You know, we eat a lot of food. We keep on with the chocolate and whatever I feed them afterwards. The guys get tired, so they want to go. And this guy, which I don't even remember the name, even if I wanted, said, "Oh, but it's early. It's just 9. It's Friday night. Let's go into town." Like,
okay.
Yay.
Yep.
That's awesome. So the guys leave. I get in to get my shoes and my, and the jacket or whatever. I come out and he says, "Well, actually, we have chocolate, we have wine. Why don't we stay here?"
Oh, uh-oh.
Keep in mind, I had been in Australia for 6 months and I hadn't dated anyone.
And you'd invited people over for food. So you're like, well, we're just continuing the friendly, foodie, drinky thing.
Yeah, I mean, by the time he said that, I was like, oh, you sort of get a hint of that. And he's a, charming guy, good looking guy. I hadn't dated anyone in forever. So, let's stay here, keep on chatting. We end up, laying down in the on the carpet, keeping chatting. At one stage, he said, "Oh, excuse me, can I use the bathroom?" I was like, "Yeah, absolutely." And I look at him walking away. It's like, it's actually quite good looking. I've been alone for so long. Why not?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
Okay.
like, why not? We hear wine, romantic things.
Yeah.
Let's get some great, better music. So I go there, change the music, turn on off the music. And all I can hear coming from the bathroom is like a thunderstorm.
Oh, no.
So-
what way to ruin the mood?
Exactly. So a part of me said, "Oh my God, he ate something that it made him sick." A second part of me was like, "I'm not getting my hands around this guy anymore."
Turn the music up. There we go.
The third part was like, "Oh my God, how is he gonna leave the bathroom?"
Yeah.
To be honest,
State, yeah.
to be honest, to his
Credit.
to his credit, you wouldn't, if you haven't heard it, you wouldn't known
Right.
anything had happened. So whoever you were, good, well done.
So yeah, you just were like, nothing's happening.
Nothing
Goodbye.
is happening.
Goodbye.
So change music because I was like, oh, let's get some nice
Yeah.
slow beat or things like that.
Nope, back to,
to whatever jazz we were listening before. So it comes around and I'm a bit colder. He sit down and knock his wine glass all over my carpet.
Oh, no.
Fair carpet, red wine.
Oh, yes.
So he jump and sit on the couch rather than help me.
Of
So
course.
I go there, I clean up, and we have, actually talking about Italian saying, we have a very specific way to describe someone that is absolutely useless, and we call them boiled cock. As useless as a boiled cock.
Yep.
Like,
Right.
yeah. And if you
Fantastic.
want to hear it in Italian, it's minca bollita.
Fantastic. I love
It's
it.
terrible. Don't say that to anyone in Italy or in Italian because it's gonna get you into
Yeah, it's
trouble.
no bueno.
But it was as usual, sitting on the corner like, oh, what am I doing now?
To
So-
be fair, it's probably better he didn't help if he doesn't know what he's doing, because red wine and light carpet, you have to know what you are
God.
doing to get that out.
I didn't have any idea because carpet is not that common in Italy. We don't.
I think
use
carpet's
it.
garbage, by the way.
So, I
It's
don't
just
have
not
it anywhere.
practical.
I don't have it anywhere. So, a lot of water, a lot of things, and spray for, cleaning carpet, etc. And it was decent enough so that I got my bond back.
Nice.
Let's say.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
But that's the thing, by that time that happened, things are like, no, I'm not even interested in talking anymore. You need to go
there's an
home.
expression in Australia that we use when we're like into someone and then all of a sudden something happens and the switch is flicked and you're not interested anymore. You've got the ick.
You got it. Yeah, I
You got
the ick.
ick. Yeah. All of a sudden you're like, oh, I like them. And then you're like, oh, no. Like immediately you've got the ick.
Oh, gosh. So at this stage, I was like, okay, now it's getting late. I think,
Please leave.
please leave, something like that. But he's on the couch and he's not moving. So I stand up and I go in the kitchen, tidy up. And next thing I know, he's sleeping.
Oh, you.
So I go there and I try to wake him up. And it's like, okay, it's time to go. Okay. So go and get his stuff and he's snoring.
He
I'm
is
like
out.
in a matter of, at that stage, I was like, okay, your stuff is out and you're out now.
Oh, gosh.
So yeah, it wasn't a good
That's not-
date, that one.
That's not, look.
Yeah.
I feel a little bit sorry for anyone who has to go to the loo when they're at someone's house. But also, like, if you spill wine, at least pretend to go and get something to help clean it up and
Try not to be.
And you know what? Something that would have saved the situation completely. I think you get out of the bathroom in a situation like that, and you should assume that if you're that loud, someone has heard you. And say, you know what? I'm not feeling too well. I'm going home. I'll call you tomorrow. Because you know what? I would have picked up the call for how I felt, with that without the wine on my carpet.
Look, I'm the really awkward person who would assume everybody heard it and come out and make some terrible self-deprecating joke about it. I would just be like, yeah, okay, I'm a bit crook. Sorry about the thunderstorm. Don't go in there for about an hour.
You know what? That would have caused laughter. Still, I'll call you tomorrow. I would have,
Sense of humor about bodily failings is always the way to go, I think. Like, because everyone's bodies are weird, and if you can have a joke about it, then it lightens the mood a bit.
So the man could have saved it by just leaving after the bathroom, but the wine,
or making a joke about
but
it,
the wine,
or helping,
but staying
pick the
around
wine
and
up.
showing that he was a bit of a boiled penis. When there was a crisis,
then falling asleep and snoring
Yes,
like so
no.
hard.
Oh,
And that
God.
seems like a bit of a pass out to me. Like, was he a little bit drunk as well? Because when you fall asleep that hard,
I don't know. It didn't look drunk. Because, I mean, I was still at this stage, like, if you're drunk, no.
Yeah.
Out,
yeah,
Like,
but I got to say, there's a lot of Australian guys that I've met who can hold their liquor and they can be like, there's an expression that my dad uses, which is 3 sheets to the wind, which means he's just absolutely off his face, but seem like they're incredibly sober. And then next minute they're falling down over nothing.
Yeah, it could well be, to be
But
honest.
So did he sleep on your couch or did you?
Oh, just a
wake him
matter
up?
of minutes because I kicked him out. I was like, no, you're not staying here.
Get up,
Sorry.
out,
yeah.
out.
Yeah.
And your friends, your Italian friends,
gosh.
still laugh.
Yeah.
They
laugh to this day.
they still laugh. Yeah, they still laugh. A couple of years back, someone looked at that in their email, like, "Oh my God, remember this?" Like, yeah, I do. I do. I probably have another one, which is funny, and is the "I wanna sleep with you."
Okay.
Because the Italian would get it very literally.
Yes,
Like when I heard someone saying, "Oh, I really would like to sleep with you," I was like, "Really? Is that what you think?"
I'm only
when
worthy
you're
of you
looking
being
at-
unconscious next to me.
You want to close your eyes next
And
to me?
next-
You
what-
don't
what-
want to do
yeah.
anything?
Yeah.
Yes, okay.
Oh, that's so funny. I hadn't considered that would mean anything
No,
different.
yeah. I mean, of
Yeah.
course you learn
You
very
learn
quickly, but
context.
everything was like, what's wrong with what I'm wearing? That you can't think about getting that on the floor?
How long did it take you two to figure out what he was talking about?
Well, not
Not
long,
too
to
long,
be
yeah,
honest.
same.
Because I mean, he saw my face and he
Explained
tried
himself.
getting into action. So, but my first thing was like, nah,
Sleeping is boring.
yeah.
So
I mean, we can sleep afterwards.
Yes.
But how about we?
I want to
about
exhaust
this
you
before?
first. Thank you.
Yes.
So over the years, and I think we've kind of talked about a lot of your lessons, but is there anything specifically that you wanted to say that you've learnt through being in Australia and having the cultural differences? What are some of the things that you've learnt over the years?
I thought I was a good listener and a good observer. I think what Australian learning and, living in another language, particularly with the relationship taught me was how to pay more attention because you really need to get the meaning from what the people face, the tone of the voice, the
context.
Yes,
and all
context,
those things,
etc.
yeah.
So I learned to observe people more, and I think it helped me in terms of understanding. Sometimes, later on, when friends were going through a hard time and didn't want to talk about that, but that is the big thing, because sometimes I couldn't rely on words, because the meaning of words were different in the context that I grew up with. So I really needed to look through the intention there. Didn't really work when I was dating a bipolar, but that's a story for another time.
That's a return trip to Ghosts of Boyfriends Past for that one.
Tom?
My keeping with this Lost in Translation theme, and this is a lesson to probably just Australians. I used to work for a lovely Vietnamese woman, and she said when she first came to this country, she was driven mad by Australians asking her, "How you going?" Now, Australians saying "How you going" that's just bread and butter to us, but to other people, foreigners that come to this, "How are you going?" She's at work and someone says, "How are you going?" She says, "I'm going, how am I going where? I'm here.
I'm right here.
I'm not moving anywhere. How am I going? I'm not traveling. I have no plans of traveling." So there you go, Australia.
Yeah.
To us, that's the most benign, understandable, "How you going?" It's the phrase you could ever say.
What's your slang?
Yeah.
What's your slang and colloquialisms?
Yeah, I can tell you what I replied to someone saying, "How are you doing?" When I was studying in UK, I said, "I'm studying."
Yeah.
Yeah.
"How are you doing?" "I'm studying." And they were like, "Oh, no, that's not what that
How
means."
are you?
How are you?
Yeah. Yeah, but...
So that would
It's
be
even more
my little-
confusing when someone said, "How's it going?" Because they're like,
how's it
"How's
going?"
what?" And going where?
Oh, another thing, "See you later."
Oh yeah.
Do you
Do we have plans?
do we have plans? Like, when am I seeing you? Okay. Oh, especially if you're seeing someone like, "See you later." Oh,
Okay.
are we catching up again?
Yeah.
Oh, that
yeah.
would be confusing. And then they never
Hell
call, and you're like,
yes.
"But you said see you later."
Yeah, and you end up
Rude.
like being the mad bitch. Like, what are you talking about? Like, I got plans. Like, oh, what?
You literally said it.
Yeah.
So these innocent, totally benign phrases to Australians may get us in trouble. They may get you on dates that you don't. You say "see you later," and someone's going, "Yes, more
Yes,
dates." No, but
definitely.
you don't mean that. So mayhaps with foreigners or anyone else that doesn't speak Australian as a starting language, let alone English.
Yeah.
Just be careful. We're probably confusing some people.
My biggest lesson, well, not my biggest lesson, because we've already talked about the biggest lessons in terms of, but one of my lessons is just kind of correct someone if they've got an expression wrong and it's making them sound silly. But if it's just a simple, especially if they're saying something really important to you, don't correct spelling, punctuation, grammar through text if they're saying something important. If they've gotten a major expression wrong, have a giggle with them, not at them, with them, and explain.
Yes.
But yeah, watch your correcting of people, and always lean into laughing about bodies being stupid, because bodies are weird. They do weird stuff, and it'll be received a lot better if you can make a joke.
Yes,
and kind
that's
of go,
right. That's right.
"Sorry about my weird body. Everyone poops." Like.
There you go. Well, our first sort of Lost in Translation series story.
A lot to think about, a lot of things that I didn't consider in terms of, like, I'm still stuck on the you're not as funny in another language as you are in your own. Like, and
And
that
you don't feel clever.
it
Like,
hadn't occurred to me
Yeah.
at all. And that's so weird because I'm a writer and it should have occurred to me.
Oh yeah, especially I write as well, and writing in another language is crazy hard because you got what you want to say and what the feeling you want to say in your language perfect there, but how do you translate it? How are you making sure that that sentence is telling exactly what you want to transmit? It's crazy.
So as someone who obviously like writes cabarets and theatre and stuff like that, do you then get someone to edit you in English and make sure that you're getting your point across? Or
Well, I had generally, like the director or when I started, working on this cabaret, was Ray going through that and discussing with me like, what do you want to say with these?
Right.
So I had people helping me. Of course, in this specific case, it's quite easy because I'm talking about a language problem and communication problem.
So it's quite literal.
Some of those, when they don't come through, there's
it
a
makes
point.
it funnier. Yeah. Brilliant.
So, but yeah, other stuff definitely like I'm writing a play, and that needs to be properly reviewed by someone. But not just with someone in a communication with what are we communicating here, and figuring out if that's the right word to say what I want to say.
Yeah.
Well, once more, and in a roundabout way, communication is the overall overall umbrella.
We
on this
always
show.
come back to this on this show. Is just ensure that you're communicating effectively, and if that means that you've got to take a little bit longer to figure out the context of what somebody's saying as well as the actual words, then it's worth taking the time.
Yes, we thank Laura for coming on today and sharing her little stories of Lost in Translation. If you've dated someone in another language, in another culture, and you've had similar difficulties, similar little speed bumps to get over, please send them to us. Write them into ghostsofboyfriendspast@gmail.com. I want more. This can't be the only Laura can't be the only person on the planet. Come on.
Every single awkward interaction that you've had with someone when you've tried to date in another language and what happened. I need to know the details. I need to cringe from behind the microphone. I want to know. So please write those in. Laura, did you want to plug your show once more? We'll put all the details in the show notes, but tell us all of the details on what it's called so that everybody will never forget it.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So come and see Power, Language and Love at Peep Theatre, 4th, 5th and 6th of November. Part of the Fringe Festival, the first Fringe ever.
It is. So, it's our first Fringe in Brisbane. We will put all of the details as well as a booking link. Remember what Auntie Liz said about booking tickets early.
Yep.
So get on there and click on that link and book tickets to come and see the show. Otherwise, Laura, it's been an absolute pleasure to see you and to have you on the so much fun stories. And what thought would you like to leave us with today, Tom?
I don't know.
Sorry, I put you on the spot there.
No, everyone just go and learn a sentence or two of Italian in honor of our Italian guest.
Yeah,
Could be, a little Italian,
yeah,
please.
that'd be awesome.
Very good.
That'd be definitely awesome.
Italian.
Thank you so much. Oh, do you want me to talk Italian?
Yes.
A presto, ragazzi. Ascoltate questo podcast perché è favoloso. Ciao.